Donald Trump's January 6th Weaponization Fund, the $1.776 billion slush fund that he has set up as part of his settlement with the IRS, is now being challenged in court by two Capitol Police officers. You have former Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn and Metropolitan Police Officer Daniel Hodges. They have filed a complaint in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, calling this fund that could, again, potentially be used to pay off the Capitol rioters who all received pardons already. They call it the most brazen act of presidential corruption this century. I disagree with that. I think it is ever, not just this century. I think it's the most brazen act of presidential corruption ever. But they add the fund styled as the Anti-Weaponization Fund is illegal. No statute authorizes its creation. The settlement on which it is premised is a corrupt sham, and its design violates the Constitution and federal law. They argue that it violates the 14th Amendment's explicit prohibition on using federal money to pay any debt or obligation incurred in aid of an insurrection or rebellion against the United States. It also contends the Justice Department had no legal authority to create the fund in the first place. Which is true. They don't. Now, the DOJ, many, many times in the past, throughout its history, has set up funds to compensate victims. But the way they do that is because they get a settlement from whoever it is they were taking on, whether it's a bank, a corporate polluter, whatever. They get money from that group, asbestos, things like that. And then that money sits in here. Or it's appropriated by Congress like the 9/11 First Responders Fund. So that money sits in here, but it came from somewhere. Some group agreed, yes, you can have this money for this purpose, and then the DOJ doles it out. This isn't that. Trump isn't ponying up the $1.776 billion and saying, okay, well, here's the money because we're settling and now you can pay everybody off. No. So they're absolutely right. No matter how you look at this, whether it's a 14th Amendment issue, whether it's a, power of the purse issue, it is 100% unconstitutional. But they take it even further because they also argue that the premise of the lawsuit to begin with was a sham. You have a guy who is in charge of the federal government, suing the federal government. So he's effectively suing himself. And then he settles with himself. You can't do that. That's not legal. So the very structure of this cannot happen. I mean, the whole the fact that it was not immediately dismissed and laughed out of court shows you what a sham our entire judicial system has become. This shouldn't have even been allowed to be filed, let alone get to the point where we have this settlement. But it was. Because whatever judge it went in front of, and unfortunately I don't have the person's name, but that judge should have immediately thrown it out. The fact that they didn't, and I don't care who the judge is, maybe the best, most liberal judge in the country, you didn't throw this out, you should be impeached for that. You should be disbarred for that. Because this was a sham from the beginning, and you had the authority to stop it before we even got to this point. But because you didn't, we now have to hope that people like these Capitol officers who were brutally assaulted by these people, we have to hope that they prevail because that initial judge didn't do their job. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.